This year's first overall draft pick, training with Mr. Irrelevant. Yeah, you heard that right. Caleb Williams, USC quarterback, who is absolutely going number one overall to the Chicago Bears, has been training this offseason with 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy. And ESPN did this awesome feature on them, which I'll show you a couple clips in a second. But it's a pretty cool scenario to kind of see these two quarterbacks who many would consider polar opposites training together with the same training staff and team, trying to acquire very similar results. But take a look, there's some nuggets in here too. So we'll react to some of those nuggets on the other side as Brock reveals kind of his off-season training regimen so far, and we will discuss the benefits of actually potentially training with Caleb Williams. Take a look right here.
Just weeks before the NFL draft, a small group of quarterbacks gathers in a public park in North Florida. Among them are projected first overall pick Caleb Williams and 49ers starting quarterback Brock Purdy.
Going to the NFL, there's things that I need to work on. I wanted to go to the best people, best guys. It's on something cool like this today where we're, seeing the biomechanics and things that you may not be able to see on TV.
It's the mobility, it's getting my shoulder to open up more so that my elbow can come through, just so I can be a more efficient thrower, not just coming in to throw, but like actually work on your mechanics.
They are here to train with Tom Gormley, a physical therapist with a background in baseball who began his career working with major and minor league pitchers. Gormley believes that quarterbacks, like pitchers, can continue to develop their throwing strategy at the professional level by optimizing biomechanical efficiency. It starts with 3D motion capture, visualizing quarterback mechanics in all planes using high-speed cameras and avatars. The critical aspect for Gormley is targeting every single exercise and treatment for a specific thrower towards functional changes on the football field.
When you come here, you kind of hear the way that we're basically going to assess you and kind of break down at a biomechanical level what we see as efficient or inefficient, and then kind of build together an entire rehab and skill development plan around what we see from the data we pull.
The video is fed into algorithms for analysis. Hours later, motion capture expert Chris Hess breaks down the data with each player.
When they bring a quarterback in, we'll do a baseline assessment. Just understand how they move. There's the throwing side of it, which is the on-field skill, but it also gets compared with, okay, how do his hips move? What do his shoulders look like as far as range of motion? You're about 10 degrees under your target for external rotation, but day 4, it's gonna be tight.
I've taken a break since the Super Bowl, a good 5 weeks or so. I've been training, but not necessarily throwing. And so as you throw more and more, your shoulder capsule opens up, your layback comes back, and that allows you to whip the ball more. But as I throw throughout the off season and focus on my hips coming through first, that'll just continue to open up more and more.
You have decelerated your pelvis and your torso so all the energy can just cruise to the arm.
Yeah.
And so for Caleb, we have to teach him perfection is how he moves. And then as he goes into the season and through the season, we stay within that. It's going to evolve.
I think the biggest thing that I'll take from this is finding keys on when I miss a pass, finding my rhythm throughout camp. Everybody drops differently, everybody throws differently, everybody, moves differently. But finding your rhythm, within your plays is going to be really important.
First of all, like I said, it's really cool to see the first overall pick in this draft training with Brock Purdy. And this is the group that Brock Purdy has been training with since his pre-draft process and all throughout his rehab and now heading into his third season with this group. When you talk about Brock Purdy, and you've heard him talk about his training before, he talked about how he went into his offseason preparation as a rookie who hadn't been drafted yet by the San Francisco 49ers. He was getting ready for the draft, talking about how working with this group made him throw faster and harder than he did in college. He said that in that offseason, he developed his arm. And as you heard about, you can see the type of intense scrutiny and micro evaluation that they go into in regards to throwing motion and how the whole body is connected. And Brock was able to add velocity onto his throws because of this type of training. And also, when you look at how Brock Purdy has rebounded from the UCL surgery, it was also with this group as well. And then you throw Caleb Williams into the mix. I think that's kind of actually a cool balance of talents kind of meeting together. I think one of the interesting things that Brock Purdy did talk about was the fact that he really hasn't been throwing this offseason. And I like that. I'm actually loving that. And it's when I talked to Brock Purdy at his camp, it was kind of one of the things that I wanted to talk to him about. I was like, and I asked him, I was like, man, after last year, you went straight into basically trying to get your swelling down in your elbow so you could have surgery, then straight into rehab, and then on this insane path to being ready for training camp. He was able to take a step back, get a break away from all of those different types of things. And I think it's phenomenal that he's not throwing. Give that arm a break. He talked about how he's been in the gym, still working out. You could tell he looks like he's added some muscle, but now he's in the process of beginning to open up the shoulder, get that motion back, keep working on it. And I really do believe that he's going to be better for it. I think we're going to see another version of Brock Purdy that we haven't even seen yet. And I think his arm is going to continue to improve because of the type of training that he is under right now. They are going to continue to put an emphasis on his ability to basically be as efficient as possible in every single motion that he does. And he's already extremely efficient as it is, but there's room to improve, as you could hear in some of the video. And that's a good sign if you're a 49er fan. Brock Purdy's arm still improving, still going to be better, going to be stronger, going to throw harder. Yeah, that's a real thing. So, listen, man, if you thought last year was a fluke, I don't know what to tell you. I'm buying all the Brock Purdy stock I can. Doesn't matter. Brock's that guy, and it's really cool again to see him working with Caleb. And the interesting part of him working with Caleb is Caleb to me is like a free flowing athlete. He can escape the pocket, and he escapes the pocket more often than not. He does all these things kind of outside of structure because he's so naturally talented. And those two worlds coming together, where Brock is so systematic in everything he does because he doesn't have that natural ability that Caleb does. Not that Brock doesn't have natural ability. It's not what I'm saying. Caleb's just one of those like crazy, crazy athletes when it comes to throwing the football. And I think the combination of those two working together, I think it could help Brock a little bit, kind of even help Brock kind of see the because Brock is an athlete. I think we need to make that abundantly clear. I think Brock gets knocked because of how he looks of not being an athlete. And I think you compare him with Caleb Williams and you watch these guys working together, training together. One of the things of watching them work together is like when you work out and you train with someone, you kind of pick up little parts and aspects of their games. I wouldn't be surprised if, Brock was kind of just sitting back watching how fluid he is and all the things that he does. I think this could be a really big benefit for Brock this offseason. One, mentally kind of stepping away, being able to spend some time with his family, all that type of stuff, getting married, and then starting the training and starting to get back, starting to get right for OTAs. And then he's got all summer to prepare for training camp. So I'm looking forward to it. But what did you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.